morning, good afternoon, good evening to everywhere you are, guys. I am so happy to be here, and I'm going to talk about fasting. Fasting is very important into our life, guys. I don't know if you ever went through something and then you decide to be very, very close to God, praying consistently, intensely to God, and then God was able to give you what you asked. For example, it depends with any situation, guys. Maybe you are going through family issue, or maybe something that it's only you who know your problem that you are going through, whereby you are looking a solution. And that solution, you cannot get it from your friend, from your family. You not get it from anywhere. It's only by telling God. And I'm not saying here that you cannot pray to God, you cannot go and pray, but guys, fasting. And people take fasting different. Fasting is not only going without food. Fasting is just you give yourself something that will make you to not forget the day of your fasting. For example, you can say, I want this. Then you only give yourself one full week. You want maybe something to happen, then you only give yourself like 2 days, or some they give themselves 3 weeks, 2 weeks, it depends. Then you like, okay, from this time to this time I don't want to do this, and you respect that, so that you are fasting. So it's not about going without food. It depends. Some people, they go without food, some people they go with food, but they just need to give themselves a discipline where they respect, so that they cannot forget that they are fasting. And those days of fasting, you need to make sure that you are deeply close to God. You don't do anything else. Some they pray, some they sing. You sing, you pray. You telling God what really you want to be happening. You need to deeply tell him. Fasting is not a normal prayer, like you are just praying like maybe, oh God, Nana. You just really need to tell deeply what is in your heart, to tell God, to explain to God. So it's so simple. Yeah, how do you go for it? It's so simple. Yes, it's so very simple. What you just have to do, like, okay, I am starting fasting. What I will do, I will only go for 2 days. If you start, for example, today you start at 7, you need just to make sure that you put something that will remind you. Eating, yeah, which is very important. There are some people, they eat, but it's not really guaranteed that because you are not eating, you are eating is not a fasting. It depends with what you believe, but according to me, it's not until you go without food. If you want to go without food, go without food. But for me, I prefer like eat, because seriously, me, I can't go without eating. But there's a way and a method that I do fasting. Be close to God, explain him deeply. And sometimes you have a paper or a laptop where you put, and then you put it somewhere, you write it there, and then you put some points that you really need to tell God, so that God can be there, hear you, and help you. Guys, without lying to you, the power of prayer and fasting is very important. I remember there was a time that I fasted. Guys, God is great. I don't know, I was able to see the result that I got. Guys, pray. If you are going something through that is very difficult, you don't know, you don't have any other solution, and when you look at that problem, you are like, God, it's bigger than the way I cannot manage it. Guys, do fasting. Fast. Give yourself 3 days. Guys, trust me, within that 3 days, you'll be able to see result. It is 4 days. Give yourself that 4 days. Pray. Guys, be close to God. Tell him. I don't know if you will be crying. If it's cry, cry. All kind of cry. Everything. Guys, you will see the result. And I did fasting. As soon as I finished fasting, guys, you cannot imagine. So fasting is very important. So I just want to hear your opinion. Was fasting was able to work for you? When you did that, what was the result? And do you recommend people to fast? And what is the method or your method that you use to fast? My method might not be your method. What is your method that you are using to fast? So in whatever you have any situation, go close to God. He's there to hear you and help you. So thank you guys. Bye.